The turtles, they they are a great animal. A lot of people don't realize that because you see this little animal swimming around in the water, and people think they're really insignificant. In our culture, we have this being called Wakia, and Wakia cleanses the earth. She comes from the west. Her lodge is in the west, and she comes from the west, and she cleanses the earth. And we have all kinds of instructions from various stories about how we live and what we need to do when Wakia comes around. One of those instructions is to burn cedar because her lodge is made out of cedar. So when we burn cedar, she smells that and she says, "Ah, that's nice." Yeah, and so she doesn't fly over that area. Do you see what I mean? So that way your teepee or your home doesn't get struck by lightning. Do you see what I mean? That's a really old tradition that not many people do today. Those kind of things, yeah, that we receive. Before we came on the earth, we were not human. We were something different. We looked human, but we were not human. Yeah? We were called pte, pte oyate. Some people mistranslate that to mean Buffalo Nation, but no, that doesn't mean Buffalo Nation. Pte chaka oyate is Buffalo Nation. Pte oyate is something different. These are people who lived under the earth millions of years ago. They were not human yet, though. Yeah, not yet. When we were still under the earth, we were taught to make drums and rattles and sing certain songs by a great bear that walked upright. His name was Hunum. When we were singing these songs and hitting the drums, there was a whole bunch of drums. There's millions of people down there, yeah? So this really made a loud booming sound under the earth. So Wakia woke up and she was taking a nap and she woke up and she thought, "Oh, is that another one?" Because in the beginning of the earth, there's only one Wakia, yeah. And so she was all excited, flying around to see where that sound was coming from. She thought that was another Wakia. She found the location. It was coming from under the ground, so she was able to go under the ground and check things out. And people saw her. They just kept singing until the song was done, and that really made her feel good. And so when they got done, she congratulated them, and she was really amazed at what they did. And she gave her power to the drums. And she told the people, whenever you're scared, whenever you're sad, or you're angry, yeah, you feel lonely or lonesome, and you just got the blues, She said, beat this drum. It's got my power in it, and it will cleanse the area, and it will bring cleansing energy inside of you too. You don't even have to sing. She said, just beat the drum, and you will feel better, she said. And then she left, and people were like, "Wow, that's neat." Yeah, so this is the original story concerning the drum. A lot of people at powwows today, they say the drum is the heartbeat of Mother Earth. Well, that's beautiful and everything, but that's a contemporary. Yeah, that means it's a recent explanation. Wakia giving her power to the drum is from the Star Knowledge stories. That's a really ancient version. Another thing was there were creatures that were coming from the water that could live on the land. Yeah, they could come on the land. They're called Nkjeshi or Nkjeshila, and they really caused problems for the people. And so she would chase them back, and they would battle with her. If they went to the water, she couldn't go in there. Yeah, because she's thunder and lightning. Yeah, so she can't go in the water. So when they run into the water, they escape from her. And so she was thinking, how do I solve this problem? And then one day she noticed this turtle, that he lives in the water and he lives on the land, that he can live in both places. And so she asked him, "If you're my ally," she said, "I'll give you cleansing power to cleanse the water so that people can drink it, and animals too." and that nobody will get sick. And she said that if you're my companion, my partner in doing things and cleansing the earth. And the turtle says, I don't know. Why should I? He said, I don't feel like it. So they had a discussion like this for a while, and finally the turtle agreed. Yeah, he said, okay. She said, I will be your companion, and I will keep the water clean with the cleansing power. So she said, wonderful. And so she gave him some power, cleansing power. So whenever these Ukjehila would run into the water, the turtle would go after them. Yeah? and then they would be destroyed. So this way they were cleansing the earth and the water together. So the turtle is very powerful. It's a very, 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 very powerful individual. The turtle's companionship to Wakil, because they work together, they're powerful and mighty, and he doesn't need to fly because what he does is really great in cleansing the water. So people who live by the rivers and stuff like that, they always made sure there were turtles there because turtles keep the water clean. So when you look at a turtle, don't think of it as a slow, dumb animal. This guy is powerful. Yeah, he's got powerful medicine. And so really give thanks for the water that you drink, because a lot of times turtles are the ones that are keeping it clean. They serve a very important function because we all need water. We all need that to live. And so the turtles are making that possible. Isn't that beautiful? So in other cultures, they have these stories between the rabbit and the turtle racing, and Bugs Bunny, and that kind of nonsense. In our Lakota culture, there are star knowledge constellations that we have that are, of course, different than Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, things like that. We have different constellations, and there's one that's a turtle and one other one that is a salamander. Chaos, turtle, Agaleshka, and salamander. Normally, after a baby is born, they make a pouch in which they put the umbilical cord inside. And for a girl, the pouch is shaped like a turtle. And for the boy, it's shaped like a salamander. There's special characteristics of both animals that are really nice, and that they wish for the power of these animals to influence these children so that they develop in that way. Like for a girl, baby girl, a turtle symbolizes long life, having fortitude, among other things. A turtle, for one thing, is really hard to kill, and even after it's killed, its heart continues to beat longer by itself. It shows you how strong they are in heart. So, in facing difficulty, this is about making life experiences into teachers, and that the girl develops into such a way that she will be able to do things that not only benefit herself but her family too. So it's a really, really wonderful thing. And for the boy, for him, the salamander symbolizes like adaptability, agility, like when hunting, doing things, to be coming into a new country and being able to adapt, like me, coming to Germany and being able to adapt. Kind of thing. Same thing with the girl, when the boy grows up, he will lose things, but he'll make his life experiences into teachers too. And from that, that's going to help him as well as his family. So there's more to it. Like I said, you can do a whole discussion on this, but these are some of the things that we used to do. And usually after the baby is born, all the people, they pray, to those constellations, so that the babies will develop similar attributes to as these animals have, because this will serve the people. From day one, everybody's doing things as a community, so they're you're becoming a community thinker from the day you're born. Everybody is for everybody. Yeah, it's a really wonderful thing. Yeah, wonderful. Yes, that's what they did with the umbilical cord. Isn't that interesting? When people talk about Lakota spirituality, they're always talking about buffaloes and eagles and elks and bears and all these mighty animals, and you have to realize that it's not just them. It's turtles, and they're just as mighty too. It's just that literature and media doesn't promote it that way. So we become influenced and basically brainwashed by the media into thinking that only the mighty animals are big, and that's not always true. If it wasn't for this turtle, all the so-called mighty animals would cease to exist, and we would too. We would die too. So the turtles got the water ready for us. So when we came to the earth, we're ready to live. The turtles made that possible. See how mighty the animals are? Isn't that something? I think that's great. So animals really play a role in our lives, that. Like, for example, when the girls have their first menstruation, they have a ceremony for that. Their coming of age, their rite of passage, where they become women and they're seen as women. And so, for example, for girls, part of their ceremony is they put her inside a teepee by herself, and it starts at dusk. And all night long, all her women relatives are going to come in and talk to her one by one. And they're going to tell her things about being a woman and teach her all kinds of things concerning relations with men, stuff like that, and being a mother, being a wife, and all these kind of things. And that she is taught that she's the law in the home, and the home belongs to her. However, we're not matriarchal, and we're not patriarchal either. We're something different. When it comes to the home, that does belong to the wife. See, we don't fit the standards that most people think we do. Anyway, this instruction goes throughout the night, and then she's taught to be like certain animals. Again, the turtle comes into the picture, and that the turtle has a very hard shell, that it's hard to penetrate that shell, that the shell is its home, and it's able to weather any storm. And so she is taught to be like that, to have her home, so that when people come there, they feel protected, they feel loved and valued, that it's nice to be there. That's one of the characteristics. And that when anybody says something about her behind her back, that it doesn't bother her. That it just bounces off as if she had a turtle shell. The shell just sends it back to whoever sent it. See what I mean? It's pretty cool. And another animal that she's taught to be like is the meadowlark. Meadowlarks are birds that really sing beautiful songs, and that when you hear one, you just feel nice. It's just pleasant. They really have pleasant songs. So she's told to have that energy too, like the meadowlark, to keep that in mind. So that again, when people are around her, they really feel nice, they're comfortable, they feel good, and it's like they want to help her. They want to do what she asks them to do, things like that, because of the spirit of the meadowlark. This is really, really cool things. Like I said, when you hear this meadowlark sing, that feels good, yeah? It's soothing. Yeah. So you see what I mean? So girls are taught to be this way too. And the ceremony's over at dawn. And then the teepee is taken down and then put up again. That means it's a new place now, and this is her teepee. This is a new level of understanding, a new level of development. She is now a woman. Her hair is fixed like a woman. There's other things that happen too that I won't go into that because that's kind of sacred information. I'm just telling you bits and pieces from the ceremony.